Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla says the May 13 shooting incident was not an attack on the Senate. Lead prosecutor Jinky Luistro says the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte should not be aborted even if Duterte resigns from her post. The Justice Department recommends the filing of plunder and graft cases against Senator Jinggoy Estrada and former Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan. Prices of diesel and gasoline increase while kerosene prices roll back Tuesday, May 19. And US President Donald Trump pauses a planned attack on Iran as negotiations continue. Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla and PNP Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. say there was no attack on the Senate on Wednesday, May 13. In a briefing at Malacanang Palace Tuesday, May 19, Remulla and Nartates present a timeline of events in the Senate shootout. The officials say the National Bureau of Investigation did not pose a threat to the Senate and were just there to secure the GSIS building, which is connected to the Senate building. Remulla says GSIS officials wanted to secure valuable paintings housed in the building. They present CCTV footage from the Senate and the GSIS building, as well as videos from the media during the incident. Remulla points out Senate Sergeant-at-Arms Mau Aplasca's involvement in the shootout.
General Aplasca called in the OSA operatives, including the PNP and the Marines, and gave the order to lock and load.
He says Aplasca gave the order in full view of reporters and allowed them to follow up to a certain point.
In normal situations, if there is a perceived confrontation, you will clear the building of all personnel because of possible stray fire. However, he allowed them to follow.
He adds Aplasca was the one who first fired warning shots at an NBI agent.
According to testimony of General Aplasca himself, he opened the door and he asked, "Sino ka?" The agent identified himself as NBI. Shortly thereafter, he fired 3 shots towards the vicinity of the NBI agent. The NBI agent withdrew behind the air conditioning duct units, and because he was being fired upon, he discharged a cover fire.
Meantime, Acting Justice Secretary Frederick Vida says a more complete investigation will be conducted to include May 11 to 13. Vida declines to comment on whether the shootout was staged, saying he will not preempt the investigating panel. Meantime, based on CCTV footage, the officials also confirm Senator Bato de la Rosa left on board the vehicle of Senator Robin Padilla.
This is the picture of the vehicle leaving a Fortuner that belongs to Senator Robin Hood Padilla. This is the picture of Bato during all the chaos. But the last video, that is them getting away.
Lead prosecutor Jinky Luistro says the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte should not be aborted even if Duterte resigns from her post.
While resignation from office will render moot and academic the penalty of removal, it is my position that we need to continue the trial for the senator judges to be able to determine whether or not they will impose as well the penalty of perpetual disqualification.
Luistro clarifies this is her personal position. She adds the 11 prosecutors have not discussed their stance on the matter. During the press conference Tuesday, May 19, Luistro is also asked what would happen if Duterte or her lawyers do not show up in the proceedings.
Kahit hindi dumating ang Vice Presidente, kahit hindi siya mag-file ng answer, kahit hindi dumating yung defense lawyers nila, tutuloy pa rin ang trial. Ang magiging effect lang nitong instances na to, it will be considered as an entry of a plea of not guilty.
Duterte is accused of misusing public funds, bribing government officials, amassing unexplained wealth, and threatening the life of the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Meantime, Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adyong and Kabataan Representative Rene Co are named House Trial spokespersons for the impeachment proceedings. Adyong is a 2-term lawmaker from Mindanao and was a member of the Bangsamoro Parliament. Co is a neophyte lawmaker and is one of the youngest members of the 20th Congress. The Justice Department recommends plunder and graft cases against Senator Jinggoy Estrada and former Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan over alleged flood control corruption. The Office of the Ombudsman on Monday, May 18, confirmed it has received the DOJ's resolution. The recommended cases also include direct bribery and receiving gifts by public officers and corruption of public officials. Estrada and Bonoan are barred from leaving the country after the DOJ secured a precautionary whole departure order against them in February. But the DOJ dropped the complaints against former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, former District Engineer Henry Alcantara, and former Regional Director Gerard Opulencia since they've turned state witnesses. If the Ombudsman agrees with the position of the Justice Department, it will file the charges in court. Prices of diesel and gasoline increase while kerosene prices roll back Tuesday, May 19. The Department of Energy announces diesel prices will rise by around 2 pesos and 82 centavos per liter, while gasoline prices increase by 1 peso and 21 centavos per liter. Meantime, kerosene pump rates drop by at least 2 pesos and 21 centavos per liter. The DOE reports the country's fuel inventory can last 45 days, lower than the previous week's average 50-day supply. But Energy Secretary Sharon Garin says this is not a cause for concern since the international supply chain is becoming more predictable. US President Donald Trump says he had paused the planned attack on Iran to allow negotiations on ending the US-Israeli war. This after Tehran sent a new peace proposal to Washington. Trump adds he had instructed the US military they will not push through with the scheduled attack on Iran the next day, May 19. But he instructed them to be prepared to go forward with a full large-scale assault on Iran on a moment's notice in the event that an acceptable deal is not reached. Trump also says there was a very good chance the US could reach an agreement with Iran to prevent Tehran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
And there seems to be a very good chance that they can work something out. If we can do that without bombing the hell out of them, I'd be very happy, please.
Iran remains defiant, warning the US and its allies against further attacks and saying its armed forces were stronger and more prepared than before. Iran's Joint Military Command, Khatam al-Anbiya, also says its forces were ready to respond to any renewed US attack. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gotinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the Rappler app.